Hey everyone, exciting news. We've officially launched the Paranoid Perspective Patreon. If you love what we do, unpacking conspiracies, chasing mysteries, and laughing through the weirdness, now you can support the show and get more of it.
So for as little as $5 a month, you will get exclusive access and extra perks to the episode. Sarah, what do we get with tier one?
So tier one is the Curious Minds, and you get a shout out at the end of every episode.
Next tier, this is what you guys really probably want. Ad-free episodes. We don't need those pesky ads that you guys are getting on Spotify, Apple, whatever else. You will get all episodes ad-free along with what else, Sarah?
You'll also get it ahead of time. So before the episode releases for that week, it'll be available for you to watch or listen.
So if you guys are interested, check in the show notes down below, or you can head to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Welcome back to the Paranoid Perspective. I am Jake.
And I'm Sarah.
Sarah, you've been to the Grand Canyon before, haven't you?
Yes. I stayed not overnight, but I stayed late to watch the Milky Way.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Like, that's one of those places I've always wanted to go. I've been, like, close to the Grand Canyon, like, geographically speaking, but I've never actually had the opportunity to go, and I really need to make that trip happen. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those, like, it's probably one of those situations that I could be completely talking out of turn here, but it makes you feel like super insignificant, small, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just staring out across.
Yeah. It doesn't look real. So.
Yeah. I was going to say, it looks like a painting, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
I don't know, man. It's one of those things that I cannot imagine people seeing for the first time. You know what I mean? Like that had to be like almost like, I guarantee you it was just one of those like stand back in awe moments, even if like, regardless of how technologically advanced that individual was, it had to have just been like, holy shit moment, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And I don't want to get too close to the edge. That's for sure.
Well, that's actually a halfway decent segue because we're going to talk about certain spots in the Grand Canyon you are not allowed to go today, and maybe why we're not allowed to go to those spots. But we're not here to like talk about the beauty and all of that. You can look it up online. You can go and visit it. Okay. We're here to talk about the woo, not so much the woo, because there is some pretty crazy stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get into it.
Okay.
So why are certain parts of the Grand Canyon completely off limits to the public? Sarah, you kind of hinted on one, right? Thinking about the safety aspect.
Yeah. It's not safe to go in but it's like on the bottom.
Well,
you're not allowed to go in.
No, not all of it. Just certain parts of it.
Okay.
That's definitely a fact. Like there are definitely parts that are roped off for your safety, for sure. Something I didn't know. On average, 11 people die there per year from falling.
Oh, I feel like I thought it would be more, but 11. I mean, how many people visit?
Yeah, I mean, like. It's definitely not as big as I thought it was, but nonetheless, like you falling off the edge of the Grand Canyon is completely preventable in 90% of cases. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're just walking on the established trail and next thing you know, you just fly off of it or anything, you know?
Well, but some of it's pretty steep as you're going down.
Sure.
I think.
For sure.
You could fall there, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
People get very close. Yeah.
I don't know what all of these, I don't know if these are all falling deaths, but apparently 900 people have died since like the 1800s. Now, like I said, I wasn't able to find like a breakdown of like what those were because it could be any number of things. Because if we're talking about it as far as, 2 centuries ago, it could have been something as simple as exposure or starvation or dehydration. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different things that could have happened in those 900 people. But with it being so small, I almost want to say it is for falling too.
Right.
But
Well, it is easy to fall, I guess, but
that's true.
just don't get too close to the edge. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and then there are also like really fragile ecosystems there that,
Hmm.
that we don't want to disturb as human beings. We do enough of that on the planet as it is. And, we don't want to fuck up anything else there. And that's one of the reasons why they're restricted. And then
Hmm.
there are also some like sacred sites belonging to some indigenous cultures, such as like the Hopi. We don't want to go and fuck that up like we already have
Right.
too.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but here's the thing. Some of these off limit sites, they happen to line up perfectly with some of the most bizarre and controversial stories that have ever been told about the Grand Canyon. So we're going to kind of start about at the beginning of where this controversy kind of started, okay? So this is from 1909. This is the Egyptian discovery and the Smithsonian cover-up.
Okay. At the Grand Canyon, the
Apparently.
Egyptian. Okay.
So on April 5th, 1909, the Phoenix Gazette published a story that shook the foundations of American archaeology. A man named G.E. Kincaid, working with the Smithsonian, reportedly discovered a vast underground complex in the Grand Canyon. Inside of that
Hmm.
underground complex were Egyptian-style artifacts, hieroglyphs, mummies, and supposedly they say a statue of Buddha, but I think that's a very
What?
general
Okay.
term. The way that it was read when I read the article was someone not of Western culture. So
Okay.
I don't think it's
So I
like the,
guess.
the typical Buddha statue. I think it was showing someone that wasn't an indigenous person of North America or, people from European descent. Like it was something
Yeah.
outside of that culture is what I
Hmm.
kind of got from it.
This was
Now,
like a cavern they
well,
found?
yeah, it was almost like the
Oh.
way they described it was like a labyrinth, like honeycomb man-made structure.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to like picture that, but like I'm thinking a bunch of like tunnelways, a bunch of like awning walkways,
Hmm.
like it was an established like man-made structure for sure is what
Hmm.
they were saying. Now, in typical fashion, the Smithsonian has denied the entire thing. They
Oh.
claim that Kincaid never worked for them. There are no records. There's absolutely nothing.
Oh, wow.
But here's where it gets a little weird. The area specifically mentioned is now under government control and is completely off limits.
Hmm. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. Like, so
That's
it wasn't after or
right.
before it wasn't. Yeah, okay.
So that kind of like leads me to believe like at first when you hear like an organization like the Smithsonian, it's like, well, yeah, it's probably just a hoax. It's probably something because back in the day they used to be able to write articles and
Oh,
whoever
yeah.
had the craziest article is the one that got in the paper. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there was a lot of bullshit kind of being spread about. So I don't take the article like wholeheartedly, but it's also very weird that the same place is now off
Yeah.
limits and controlled by the United States government.
Yeah, that's never a good sign.
So,
So,
but
okay.
let's kind of get into a little bit of this article because there's a lot that goes into this, and I'm kind of just going to have like the Cliffs Notes version, but I kind of want to give a little bit of context to this. So, this Grand Canyon article explained that the explorer, once again, G.E. Kincaid, had made the initial discovery and was joined by a Smithsonian scientist named S.A. Jordan. I don't know why we have these like initials for first and middle,
Yeah.
but apparently that's what we're going with.
Okay.
They were there to study what was described as a wondrous labyrinth honeycomb of man-made tunnels filled with seemingly Eastern treasures. So we're
Hmm.
talking golden urns, sophisticated copper tools, ancient artifacts, hieroglyphs, mummified remains, statues. Um, it looked very almost like if Hinduism and Egyptian cultures kind of
Oh,
like melded together, is what I got from the article. So, like I said,
wow.
we're not looking at like indigenous North American people or European culture. Like it's something that is way on the other side of the world. So
That's crazy.
yeah. Now, there were supposedly these tablets that were, tablets that were engraved with hieroglyphics, and it was like they called it the mystery of the prehistoric North America, something like that. So it was like something was here, but or something like either it originated here or it was migrated from those other cultures. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, there's also a theory, and this is way out there. So, apparently, Egypt has the Nile River, and then Arizona and Colorado. Supposedly, at some point in time in Earth's history, like there was waterways that connected all of those, but I'm not
like in Pangea.
Yeah, I'm not putting too much stock into that. That sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me, because that is way too far back for anything like that. But
for it to wash up a artifact.
Right. So
okay.
I don't put a whole lot of stock in that. But there's a lot of people also that think that 1909 article was a fabrication. Modern day skeptical writers, academics, and the Smithsonian, of course, claim that it was simply a piece of sensational yellow journalism. It's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Somebody creates a crazy story, submit it to the paper, the craziest story makes it in the paper, and that person gets paid. There was a lot of incentive for people to make crazy stories about this. So on its surface, the article does appear to be improbable at best, and at worst, a dishonest printing of, fanciful tales conjured up for, profits and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, the original author of the piece is anonymous, which is even gives more validity to that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So the Smithsonian still has publicly denied the story outright, and they still do to this day. They deny any records verifying the existence of a Kincaid or a Professor Jordan as well.
Okay.
So,
but why is the government guarding it?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, okay, yes, that story 100% could have just been made up. 100%. Sure. And I'm kind of leaning that it probably was, just because it was an anonymous author at the time. Those yellow journalism articles were rampant. But then why are we still having these entities like the Smithsonian and other government agencies in control of certain spots where supposedly these things were found? Allegedly.
Yeah. We got to break in. Go on a road trip.
Hey, I'm just saying, probably the king of podcasts has talked about this before, and there might be a possibility he's going there. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure everybody knows who I'm talking about. So I think we'll let a few people do that first, Sarah. How about that? So we don't just disappear.
Yeah, we'll go once it's safe, once other people disappear.
Well, here's another weird thing. There are landmarks in some of these areas, okay? Now, this is an undisputed fact, okay? You can look these up on a map and you can still see them, okay? There's a large group of outshutting of spurs and ridges and stuff like that, different high points and summits that are in the Haunted Canyon in the Trinity Creek area. So very contrasting names for that.
Yeah.
Get this. These are some of the formation's names: Osiris, Isis, Shiva, Horus, the Tower of Set, and the Pyramid of Ra.
Okay. All of them, but Shiva is not really Egyptian, but.
Okay, but it's still that Eastern kind of melding culture.
Right. It's Hindu or Egyptian, yeah.
Right. So why are they named that? You know
just
what I mean?
To troll us.
Maybe. that is a possibility, and I was thinking that. But it's also worth noting that who was ever responsible for naming these landmarks, it's really hard to find out who did that. So it must have occurred prior to the printing of 1909, and it was most likely a gentleman named General John Wesley Powell who led the first government-funded passage through the Grand Canyon during 1869.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
Right. So that's the other thing. It's like, why are we naming these landmarks off of this culture that is around the world?
Yeah.
As he's, well, and like I said, it's not confirmed that that's who did that, but it's most likely that team of people that named that stuff. So did they see something
really weird
when they were out and about? You know what I mean? I don't know. So Powell was also the first director of the Smithsonian's Bureau of Ethnology, right? I think that's how you say that. Ethanol.
I think so.
I don't know. He worked for
the.
Yeah, he worked for the Smithsonian. Forgive my ignorance of not knowing what words mean. But yeah, he worked for the Smithsonian.
Okay.
And he was a founding member of the Geographic Society and a member of the Cosmos Club.
Cosmos Club. Is those cults or?
I mean,
like Cosmos Club and what was the other one?
The Geographic Society.
Okay. That's probably not a cult.
Yeah, that's probably just a people that like to look at maps and admire the nature's beauty of water erosion. I don't know. But apparently Powell's expedition experienced as a series of disasters and resulted in many of his notes being lost.
Of course. He lost all of his notes. No pictures. That's the olden day version of no pictures.
No evidence, right?
Wow.
So, and not all, but a lot of his stuff was lost due to, all I could find were a series of disasters. I don't know what that means. Like I said, it's really hard to figure out like what that even like. It's hard to find out who he it's not hard to find out who he was, but that part of his life is like impossible to find anything about.
They blacklisted it.
That's what I'm saying. It. But back in the day, all they had to have was a series of disasters. And next thing you know is all his notes are gone. So
what happened? A tornado? Like what? What?
Now, don't get me wrong. I could not imagine in 1869 trudging through the desert and trying to explore that kind of country. You know what I mean? That I wouldn't even want to do that now with like modern technology and be out there for, months at a time. That would suck.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know. I get it, but it is very curious that, most of his notes, are not found. And it's pretty reasonable to conclude once again that he probably had a hand in naming most of these landmarks. So that kind of makes it another, weird coincidence of the different cultural naming of these things.
Yeah. So, and he works for them like that.
Yeah.
They probably just, I mean, what do you think is in the Smithsonian that they don't release to the public? Like probably a lot.
A lot. I'm sure there is a lot.
Took his notes.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably do a whole episode on the shady dealings of the Smithsonian as far as, what they keep, what supposedly allegedly they found and, what's not available for public access and stuff like that. So
that would get us canceled. That's the one. Canceled.
Next thing you know, we are actually getting knocks on the door from people in suits, but it's the Smithsonian shutting us down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into a few of the theories as to far as what could be out and about there. Now, this first one, it really, really, really kind of speaks to me because I subscribe that I think human beings are a lot older than what we are told. there was an ancient civilization in that area of the country that inhabited the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm. And
Now,
just left that stuff.
well, I mean, it could have been any number of things. It could have been, food ran out. There were, diseases, stuff like that. There could have been any number of things that just wipes out a civilization, especially if we're talking tens of thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like what they say here because it doesn't say anything about like an advanced civilization. It just says an ancient civilization. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
think that there were like, I believe there was a level of sophistication for most of these ancient societies that we sure as shit don't know how to do just because we don't have to.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, you definitely lose technology through things.
yeah. But theorists have believed that the Grand Canyon was once home to an ancient civilization and perhaps older than Egypt itself.
Maybe they started Egypt.
Well, and once again, it lends some credence to the names of those landmarks, like the Isis Temple, the Tower of Ra, that sort of stuff. Like it feels like it wouldn't be random for we wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, this looks like this. We're going to call something from what we know. Like if we're going to name something for the first time, it's going to make something, it's either going to describe what it is or it's going to be something based off of what we already know.
Yeah.
So I don't think these are random. They really echo like the Egyptian, the Hinduism, the Tibetan, like those Eastern influences quite a lot.
Right.
And it's possible explorers from, this ancient world, reached America long before Columbus did. I mean,
yeah,
it's very likely actually, because anywhere that European explorers went, usually there was some sort of indigenous people.
Right.
So just because we could read, write, and we had, an understanding of time and written history, that doesn't mean that there weren't people at these other places.
Well, yeah. Right. Before that. Yeah.
So it's one of those weird things. If it was like lost to time, was it a famine? Was it disease? Was it, I don't know. And a few of these supposedly, well, I guess alleged temples that were found in that area, they were supposedly named after some of those gods. So take that for what it is. I mean, I don't know. That's one that I really kind of lean into just because it makes sense that there would be a civilization there. And if they were as advanced, if not more than the Egyptians, there's no reason why they couldn't have lived in that sort of environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But then why is the government not allowing people to go over there? Like they just don't want us to know it's older or something? Well, that is a theory. But.
It's kind of weird. I'm trying to think of the gentleman's name. Archaeologist. He had that Netflix series of the ancient apocalypse.
Oh yeah,
shit.
I don't remember his name.
What is his name? Anyway, he was violently attacked for just suggesting a different type of history. So, and that was from like the old guard. I guess I guess it's in every sort of profession, archaeology. I mean, it was like, no, this is not what we teach. It's very staunch and it's very like by the book, and this is what we're going to do. And if you disagree with this, we're going to attack you for it. Wow. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was ancient civilizations that, well, this isn't in the books and we're not rewriting this because that means everything we've said is wrong.
Right. They're no longer the experts then.
Right. I think it's kind of gatekeeping in that community. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is what you study. This is what you do. And if you find anything different, you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, and I could be speaking completely out of turn because I don't know any archaeologists. So I could be very wrong. So if any are listening, I apologize for grossly generalizing against you. So, but let's get into the fun ones.
Okay. Yeah, aliens.
That is no shit. Alien bases, portals, and the UFO connection. Okay.
Oh.
So this is one of those really out there woo ones. Okay. So the Grand Canyon is essentially remote, massive, and quite perfect for secrets. Some USO
Oh.
researchers have believed parts of the Grand Canyon conceal underground alien bases or interdimensional or dimensional portals. Strange lights have been spotted, rumbling sounds
Yeah.
with no known origin, and
Hmm.
there's like a heavily patrolled zones like miles from any trail. Like you can see like there's always like the funny thing about like, oh, the black helicopters are going to come get you, but no
Wow.
shit, there are black helicopters that patrol some of these areas, and there are armed security that patrol some of these areas. So
That's insane. Off of trails? Like, how are you even going to get over there?
that's what, but I'm trying to think because like I've even heard like when I kind of dug into this portion of it, because I was like, well, who would be stupid enough to try to like climb down from the top, like just go through the river system? You know what I mean?
Right.
That area is patrolled as well. There are armed guards that will patrol certain swaths of this area that you will be taken out at best from that area, at worst arrested.
Wow.
So,
I didn't see those people. I gotta go back.
well, you didn't go to the cool spots, Sarah. You went to the lame touristy
Oh.
ones.
Yeah. I even missed the Horseshoe Bend is apparently down there. I didn't even see that.
No, but
That's crazy.
it would kind of be like par for the course though, because like if you want to hide something, what's the best place to hide it? In plain sight, where hundreds of
Yeah.
thousands of people every year come to visit. And
Right.
you kind of section off these parts and say it's for your safety. Like no one's gonna question that. No one's gonna be
Right.
like, oh, well, what are you hiding over there? They're gonna be like, oh shit, no, I don't want to fall down this fucking canyon.
It's so big too. Like you
Yeah.
see enough of it that you wouldn't think like, oh, I want to go over there though to see it, whatever.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like it's more of like you said, it's more of like a sightseeing thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are really awesome spots like you kind of named up, like the Horseshoe Bend and stuff like there's key spots that you want to see when you go there. But essentially, most places are pretty much the same as far as what you're looking at.
You were coming in and out. Can you hear
And
me?
I can hear you. You're frozen though.
Oh, I'm frozen. You were being all robot-y.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
Is
So
okay now?
yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So I'll start from where I was. I think when I stopped was like seeing spots, like specific spots.
Yeah.
Did you hear that part?
I just said like it's so big you don't need to see all the other spots. And then whatever you said after that, I didn't hear any.
So, okay, yeah, there we go. I got a good segue. Magic of editing will help us here.
Okay.
So, like you just said, there's a lot of like key spots that you want to see as a tourist, right? You want to see like that Horseshoe Bend. You want to see their specific spots. And you're not going to be upset if you see those handful of spots.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, most people aren't going to think, man, I really bet it's going to look that much cooler 300 yards down that way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So,
especially walking. Like if you gotta walk all the way down and walk over there and then walk back to your car, and I'm not doing that.
One can simply not be bothered to do all that.
Yeah, it's too much.
But it would make sense, like I said, you're hiding in plain sight, and there are definitely patrols that happen out that way. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is one of my favorite ones. So we talked about the hollow moon, but
Oh,
supposedly this is an entrance to the hollow earth.
okay. Oh, we should talk about that too.
We should. We need to do an
That's an
episode on
entrance.
hollows.
I mean, it is a giant gash, so I guess it's closer to the inside,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
It very well could be. You know what I mean? And out of all the places where people say it's the entrance to the hollow earth, like this would make sense. If the earth is
Yeah,
hollow, this would make the
right.
most sense. This would be a very good entrance instead of having to fly all the way to what, fucking Antarctica or whatever the hell
Yeah.
they say. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So, like you said, that this is a natural gash in the earth. There's probably plenty of cave systems that could definitely lead you into
Right.
that part of our supposed alleged world that we live
Hmm.
in. Now, the hollow earth theory suggests that there is an entire world beneath ours, listeners, if you don't know, with a complete civilization, its own light source, other species. Like you're pretty much
Yeah.
looking at like Earth 2.0. You know what I
It's
mean?
just like a fairy world.
Yeah.
Like all the fairy what legends, I guess. It's their world.
Or or our reptilian overlords live down there
Yeah.
and they're really the ones in control because I think that's part of Hollow Earth. I could be wrong. I don't
No,
buy
is that part
into
of Hollow Earth?
I think
Maybe.
so. I don't know. I could be just talking out of my ass, which I do quite
I
often.
mean, everyone's a reptile, right? So,
Supposedly, allegedly.
yeah. Right.
So, um, but there are caves that do go miles underground, and there are sudden gusts of warm air that come from some of these
Hmm.
caves. There are echoes that seem unnatural. I mean, it could be a sign of some vast tunnels that go into a completely other world. Um, for me, more than likely, it's probably just somebody's imagination. In that
Yeah.
case, like, have you ever been spelunking in caves and stuff like that?
Not really. Well, a
It,
couple times.
yeah, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
You're not in a normal environment that you're used to, and you're
No.
tight and you're cramped, and there's water everywhere, and noise doesn't seem to travel the same. Like it's a very odd thing to be in. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you spend a little bit too much time, or maybe you've been in the sun too long, I could see where you could be like, "Oh, reptiles are under there, man. I just heard them. They just spoke to me."
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, maybe you should just go to a hospital.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best. Drink some water, take a knee, eat some food.
Yeah.
You'd be all right.
But
Now,
you can't explore the caves there, right?
I don't there now. I
Maybe
don't.
some of it, but
I was going to say, I'm sure there are some spelunking tours that are available at the Grand Canyon because I'm sure that would be a very good hot ticket item for people that want
uh-huh.
to kind of get that thrill of it. All of them, though, I highly doubt it.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know off the top of my head. I didn't look up how many, you know, cave tours there would be. I'm sure there are a handful, but I don't think you'd be able to explore all of them by any means.
No, and they just show you the set things so you
Yeah,
don't see the
right,
lizard people.
right. You're going on a very curated tour
Right.
of what you're
Yeah.
about to see. So this one kind of harps back to kind of what we talked about earlier, but also from a previous episode. Apparently, there are giant skeletons or mummies
Mm. Hmm.
and quote unquote forbidden archaeology.
What does that mean? Like
I,
it's gonna set up a trap, like forbidden archaeology.
so there's another suppressed story about giants. Throughout the 19th and 20th
Mm.
century, there were reports of giant skeletons found all over the place, to include the Grand Canyon. Okay,
Hmm.
most of these were kind of hoaxes, but some of them were kind of compelling. There was a few pictures going around where it was like
Oh
the
yeah.
skull was like as big as a person. Like, okay, you know what I mean? But what is interesting, a lot of these stories included skeletons that were over 8 feet tall, they had two
Hmm.
rows of teeth and oddly shaped skulls. So if you remember back from our Giants of Afghanistan,
Yeah.
that giant supposedly had two rows of teeth. So I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool to see that correlation between the two. And
Right.
that could very well be like, what do you think of when you see an alien, a gray? You know what I mean? Just
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's in pop culture, and that very well could have been like a symptom of that as to why a lot of people heard like, oh, well, these things have double rows of teeth, so that's what we're going to say. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But supposedly these reports vanished, the bones disappeared, and Smithsonian's museums, all that stuff, they deny absolutely everything.
Hmm. Right. Wow. Of course they do. They
So
probably have the bones.
probably they probably do a jawbone with two sets of fucking teeth or
Yeah.
two rows of teeth. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, that's what I was getting at with like the forbidden archaeology. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's the stuff that they have, but they don't want us to know. So,
Yeah, because it rewrites history and stuff.
mhm.
Huh.
Well, this kind of harps back to the alien thing, and this one is kind of believable. Military zones and black sites.
What are
So,
black sites?
pretty much a site that is off the grid, off of public record,
Oh,
off
okay.
like that, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of funny because a lot of people, when they hear stories like this, they want to assume that it's like, oh, yeah, ancient cultures or ancient aliens or blah, 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 blah. Or it could just be the modern fucking government right now.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
That they're doing some tests there or
well,
something.
certain parts of the Grand Canyon do lie near restricted military zones.
Um,
So
hmm.
some speculate that deep underground military bases,
Oh.
acronym DUMBS,
Nice.
um, exist beneath the Grand Canyon. Once again, hiding in plain sight. It would be
Right.
too easy to have an extensive military presence underground in a place where people seemingly visit all the time. The thing is, like, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but when I was in the military, there were certain parts of certain bases that I would go to, and guess what they had? Underground fucking tunnels and bunkers from the Cold
Mm.
War.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense.
So if they had them from the Cold War, you can imagine that they are still alive and well today and doing lots of the same thing that they're doing now.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I mean, it would,
That's, yeah. I think that's pretty believable.
yeah,
It's not Hollow Earth, it's because of the military has hollowed out
yeah.
bunkers.
Well, and you always hear stories about, you know, weird sounds that don't emanate from
Oh,
anywhere.
yeah.
You always hear
Mm-hmm.
lights that happen to come out of nowhere, like stuff
Right.
like that. Like that would all kind of check the bill. You
Yeah.
have a secret underground tunnel that is moving machinery, men, equipment, whatever it may be, and you're 80 feet above it, and you can feel it,
Right.
but you can't you can't distinguish what it would be.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that is really believable.
yeah, for sure. But once again, you know, it's a perfect location. It's remote, it's protected, it's inaccessible to most of those restricted areas. Like you said, you're going to have to walk down this shit and scale down some of these
Yeah.
walls and cliffs. Like, you're not getting down there, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
even if you do, you have armed patrol that are going to sweep your ass up and
Yeah.
you're going to go to jail or you're going to get kicked out, whatever. So, there's one thing that I kind of wanted to hit on too. There are like disappearances that happen and people just happen to vanish in the Grand Canyon
Mm.
every single
Hmm.
year.
How many did you get?
I I didn't get an exact number from it because it was one of those like roundabout figures, but sometimes they're found, sometimes they're not. These disappearances could be linked to some of these forbidden zones, you know what I mean? Where maybe they resisted and these people shot them on sight because they're in a
Right.
restricted military I I
The
hate to
lizard
say,
people got them.
oh, the lizard people fucking got them. They're down there, all, scalified now and getting turned into the next reptilian. They're using them as a skin suit. There you go.
Yeah.
That way he can walk around amongst
Right.
us. But no, I like the disappearances is like, if it's in a restricted military area, like we've seen enough documentation with like sites like Area 51 and stuff, right? Where if you cross that line, they are allowed to use lethal force.
Right. Yeah.
So
they probably did just shoot him and cover it up
they
or hide whatever.
very well could have. And I mean, once again, if they have an underground base, there's not going to be hard to hide the body.
Yeah.
And no one's going to know what happened. They're going to say, well, they went into this part of the gorge and they were never seen again.
And it's nature.
Yeah.
I mean, so people go missing all the time.
Yeah, and it very well could have been where, maybe there was a flash flood and they got swept away. You're not going to find that body. You know what I mean?
No.
So, I don't know. But there is another little interesting theory, and this one very well could be somewhat true, about Native American knowledge and like sacred rituals that happen there. So indigenous tribes hold the Grand Canyon as a place of great spiritual power. The Hopi people speak of the emergence from the underground, like that's where they came from. Like that. Yeah. So
that's their origin story. Yeah.
Right. And I always think it's funny when people chalk up like this ancient storytelling to like myth or legend or something like that. It's like, yeah, it is a game of telephone to a certain extent, but there has to be like, there's something that actually happened to spawn those stories. Right. Like it wasn't just, hey, I feel like making up a story today. You know what I mean? Like
especially for their origin.
Right. Some event had to have happened for them to start like having that spoken history of their culture.
Right.
So I don't know. It's really weird out in the desert, man, when you're out there, especially with the native tribes that live out that way. Like they hold such high regard for like these, not buildings or structures, but these natural places.
Mm-hmm.
That cut out again?
Yeah. A little bit, but I understood. I don't know what's happening, but
the fucking Grand Canyon's fucking happening. That's what they're trying to shut us down. Fucking Smithsonian's got a hold of our fucking IP address and is just going to town now. They don't want us to tell.
I knew. Right.
But
I don't know. Yeah, it's usually not a problem. But
only when we're on the edge of getting to something, Sarah, when it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I do appreciate the people that really put a lot of stock in those like sacred sites when it comes to Native Americans, just because they obviously had so much respect for that area for whatever reason it may be.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. So those are kind of the theories, and I know we went over a shit ton.
Yeah. But I think it's the underground bunker, the dumbs.
The dumbs, for sure. For sure. Now, that being said, it is definitely 100%. There are places you should not go to not get hurt, to not destroy cultural significant spots for Native Americans or ecosystems. 100%. Simultaneously, there are also a lot of places that you can't go, and there's no legitimate reason why.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it is also owned by government entities and, museums and Smithsonians and.
Yeah, the Smithsonians, I don't know, something. They're doing something.
Well, we could, like I said, we could probably do a whole episode on the Smithsonian stuff, what I mean? But so, I mean, honestly, that's what I think it is. I think it's the dumbs for sure. I think it's, a massive military underground base because it's pretty close. They could probably link it to parts of Nevada and stuff like
That's
that.
pretty far, though.
Well, but at the same time, I mean, it doesn't take long to bore a tunnel.
Yeah. I mean, Las Vegas is what, 5 hours? Or no,
Ish.
longer, I think.
Oh,
6
actually, I think it is.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's in Phoenix? Anything? Any military by
Uh,
Phoenix? Because that's only like an hour or 2 hours.
I'm sure there's something because you had stuff that happened like the Phoenix Lights and stuff like that. So I mean,
That's true. Yeah.
there could be something out there as well. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, but I don't know.
Yeah. They probably all connect.
They probably do. We probably have this vast like underground network connecting all military bases together, and generals hop on their little like what is it when they suck out all the air out of the tunnel and you can like go super fast through that, and
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's probably what's
like
what's happening.
Just a second highway underground.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. We already have tunnels that go pretty deep underground.
Yeah.
Hell, we've got tunnels that go underwater. I mean, it's not anything crazy. It just take a lot of time and money, and there's a lot of money that goes into the government that we don't know where it goes. So,
oh yeah. Yep. Every year they fail their audit. Fucking Pentagon.
But well, you know, at the same time, if I'm auditing myself, I can fail myself all the time. Be like, oops.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. We lost it. I mean, they have that black budget or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
So what's really going on at the Grand Canyon? It's probably one of those things we're just never going to really fully know. It's not going to be, I don't know. The thing is, if it is like an ancient culture, I really, really, really wish that people would just loosen up their creepy grip and let us know, like, dude, human beings are so fucking awesome because we've been doing this for way longer.
Yeah. I think that would be cool. Like, let us know.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be like everything you did was wrong, so you're a failure as an archaeologist. It's like, no, dude, you're a scientist. Things are always changing, evolving, rewritten theories and explanations of how things happened and how things work. I mean, that's part of the scientific method. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not too hip on the portals or the aliens or the Hollow Earth or the giants or anything like that. The military, for sure. Or very likely a ancient civilization. That's kind of where I'm at.
Maybe both. I mean,
it could be.
The military just took over the old civilization's quarters.
Yeah.
Like tunnels.
Yeah. I don't know. But I don't know. I'd like to go. I'd like to see if we can. I mean, I'd like to go just to, see it.
Yeah. I didn't know you'd never been before.
Nope. I sure have not.
And then we could go to Sedona and look at the vortexes.
That's true. Listeners, we have like 70 trips that we need to go on. Like, oh man, and I'm going to call it right now. If a handful of years from now, I'm looking back at this episode and we're able to do that, I'm going to be so unbelievably thankful. But if not, I'm going to be still thankful because this is fun stuff to talk about, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's really it for the Grand Canyon. I mean,
okay. Wow.
It's kind of, there's some wishy-washy, but there's also some weird evidence that doesn't really match up with things either. So,
yeah. What are they hiding?
It's like, how many licks of center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, listeners, that's going to wrap up today's episode on the Grand Canyon and why you cannot go there. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Let us know in whatever piece of content you're interacting with. Tell us in the comments. If you guys are listening to this on any sort of streaming platform, be sure to rate us and leave us a review. That helps out so very much. Check out our Patreon, the Paranoid Perspective Podcast at /patreon.com. Got some extra good stuff over there for you guys. And as always,
remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. See you next time on The Paranoid Perspective.